Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to co-sign my sister's mortgage after my parents went behind my back? Original post. I, 28 female, have been busting my butt for years to save for my own house. I work in software, so I make decent money, but it still takes forever to build up a good down payment. Meanwhile, my younger sister, 25 female, is in grad school with barely any credit. Our parents, both mid-50s, found a house near them and decided she needs it. They made an offer without telling me, and now the deal only goes through if I co-sign. The problem? I had no clue they'd do this. My parents basically dropped a bomb. You have the best credit score. Co-sign so your sister can get the house. They also hinted I should chip in for the down payment because you've got the money. If I co-sign, I'll be on the hook if my sister can't pay. She's still in school, has debt, and zero backup plan. The bank might also reject my future mortgage application since they'll see I'm already tied to another loan. But my parents say I'm selfish and forgetting family values. My sister is calling me a monster for leaving her stranded, and my mom threatened to cut off any future financial help, like wedding money, if I don't help right now. Some relatives think it's insane my parents tried to rope me into this after they already made the offer. Others say I should just do it for the family's sake. I feel guilty, but also mad they put me in this spot. Am I the a-hole for protecting my own finances? Or are they wrong for strong-arming me into co-signing a mortgage I never wanted in the first place? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Absolutely do not co-sign. Not the a-hole if you refuse. Let your mom not pay for the wedding. If she's threatening now, she will again. In the end, she probably won't. But that's not the main reason not to co-sign. The main reason is there's a huge chance you'll be in debt for a house that's not yours. It will be cheaper to pay for your own wedding than deal with this too. Then you don't have the added pressure of a 100+ person wedding because mom helped pay, and mom's choice of everything because she's paying. Not the a-hole. That sounds like a terrible idea. Family sounds toxic. Good luck. How come they didn't try to help you get a house? Don't sign. The husband of a friend of mine co-signed on a loan for his sister's law school tuition, and she never paid a dime. So your sister is the golden child and you are not. Don't co-sign the loan. Tell your parents to give your sister the wedding money, and since your finances won't be a dumpster fire, as they would be if you co-signed the loan, you'll pay for your own wedding, and will be sure to send them a picture, since obviously they won't be there. Tell them how much you appreciate them freeing you from having to care for them as they age, since that will fall 100% to your sister. Not the a-hole, but your family is really toxic. Probably something I should have said, but I was blinded by confusion and forgot to mention. I was adopted. Not as a baby, but around the age of 6. I was always different and never bothered to reconnect with my biological mother. I knew I was an outsider, but as I got older and somewhat overshadowed my younger sister with my successful career, I think it created resentment between my parents and me. So I think it's hitting its breaking point and really showing. Edit/mini update. Like I mentioned in the comment, I'm actually adopted LMAO. Forgot to mention that in my confused and angry state. My parents adopted me when I was very young because they'd been struggling to conceive. A few years later, they had my younger sister naturally, which was a huge deal to them. She was their miracle baby. Ever since, it's felt like my role in the family became the older adopted one, while she was the golden child who could do no wrong. Growing up, I was expected to pitch in more, be more responsible, and generally look out for my sister. I worked my butt off in school, snagged scholarships, and eventually landed a good job in software. All the while, I felt like my family mostly saw me as the fallback option in case anyone needed financial or emotional support. Now that I'm actually building my own life, saving for a house, focusing on my career, I'm realizing how my success just makes me look like a bigger piggy bank to my parents. The more independent I become, the clearer it is that I need to separate myself from the constant guilt trips and the unspoken expectation that I'll always bail them or my sister out. I love them, but I can't keep sacrificing my own future to maintain a dynamic where I'm never the priority. So thank you all for the wake-up call. Now for the first full update. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I'm absolutely not signing my sister's mortgage, and I'm definitely not pitching in for any down payment. This whole thing was the final push I needed to realize how messed up our family dynamic has been for ages. I mean, I've always known it was bad, but having them basically try to volunteer me and my finances without even asking just crossed a line I can't ignore anymore. I'm done. I've decided to cut ties. I'm already in the process of dropping any financial entanglements we might have, cutting off shared accounts, making sure they can't use my information for anything, and basically scrubbing them from my finances. My job lets me work remotely, so I'm planning to move out of state soon. That was always in the back of my mind, but now it feels urgent. I need space, distance, and a real shot at a normal life without the constant guilt trips. I'm also locking down my credit, freezing it, changing passwords, everything. I'm not taking any chance that someone might try to open a line of credit in my name. I've seen enough horror stories, and I'm not about to become one. Thankfully, I'm not alone in all this. My close friends have been incredible. They're basically my real family at this point, helping me pack, offering me a place to stay if I need it, reminding me that I'm not crazy for wanting to protect my future. They've been the biggest source of support, and I'm honestly so grateful to have them in my corner. So yeah, that's it. I'm not signing. I'm leaving. I'm done. If my family wants to blow up at me for abandoning them, so be it. I've got to look out for myself, my credit, and my sanity. Here's to hoping things only get better from here. Everyone who commented their 2 cents are amazing people, and I thank you all for your support while I'm dealing with this. Truly, thank you. Be sure to freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus and freeze your social security number as well. I would also contact the financial institution that is issuing the mortgage and tell them you're not involved in case they forge your signature. They have your social security number and may have already had the bank run your information. Second update. Okay, I was really hoping the last post would be the final one, but here I am. I didn't expect it to turn into a bigger mess. After deciding not to co-sign the mortgage for my sister, I started taking extra precautions with my finances, locking down my credit, pulling my full credit reports, like you all suggested. I wanted to be absolutely sure no one could use my information without me knowing. That's when I stumbled on an active credit card I didn't open. Some of you guys warned me, and I guess I wasn't fast enough to lock things down. It's been around for a couple of years now. It's been used, and I'm assuming my parents wanted to keep it from me with the intention of using it as leverage. As of yesterday, the statements show purchases that look a lot like household expenses. The billing address on file points right back to my parents' home. I confronted them via text because I'm currently a couple of hours away with a close friend. They claimed I benefited from these expenses, which doesn't make much sense. How could I have, when they never helped me with setting up my own apartment? Also, it explains why they assumed I'd be okay with co-signing. Turns out they've been using my credit for a while. Needless to say, I feel completely betrayed. This wasn't some tiny oversight. My parents have been quietly using my name to fund their expenses. Now I'm talking to a professional to figure out whether I should dispute the charges or close the account outright, without tanking my own credit in the process. It's nerve-wracking realizing how they went behind my back even before this mortgage BS. At this point, I'm even more determined to move out of state to get distance from all this. My job is thankfully remote-friendly, so relocating won't wreck my career. My friends have been amazing, offering support so I don't completely lose my mind. If it weren't for them, I'd be a mess right now. I'm not trying to be vindictive or overdramatic. I just need to protect myself. The trust is gone, and I don't see how I can maintain a healthy relationship with people who thought this was okay. It's sad, and I wish it didn't come to this, but I've got to prioritize my own future. I'll let you know if anything else major happens, but for now I'm focused on fully separating my finances from my family, getting ready to move, and making sure I don't pay the price, credit-wise, for something I never agreed to. It's scary, but I'm hoping it'll be worth it to finally have a life and a credit score of my own. Well, if they opened credit in your name, that is considered identity theft. You should file a police report. Let the chips fall where they may. This police report. This will get the account removed from your credit and make sure you are not responsible for the bill and your credit doesn't take a hit. File a police report. Call the credit card company and file a fraud report. Give them the police report number. Have the account shut down and closed immediately. This will restore your credit. Hang in there. Don't forget to check with check systems to make sure they haven't used your name to sign leases or utilities that won't show up in a regular credit bureau check. Now for the latest update 10 months later. Last year, I cut my parents off and thought that was the end. They tried to force me to co-sign a mortgage for my younger sister, called me selfish when I refused, and I found a credit card opened in my name at their address. I froze my credit, shut everything down, moved out of state, and told myself, done, no more access. I was wrong. This week, a letter from the county recorder showed up about a newly recorded deed of trust with my updated address. I pulled the record, my full legal name as co-borrower, a signature that's supposed to be mine, and a hometown notary stamp. I did not apply for this loan. I did not sign this loan. I was not even in the same state the day they claim I sat with a notary. I called the lender's fraud department and asked for the e-sign audit trail. The IP used for my signature, my parents' Wi-Fi. I emailed the notary. She replied in writing that she saw me over FaceTime and matched my ID from a photo my mom provided. That is not legal. I didn't do my job, and now I'm part of a crime. Here's what I have. The deed listing me as co-borrower, the fake signature and stamp, the lender's e-sign audit with their IP, records placing me out of state, and last year's police report from the secret credit card. So I acted. Filed a police report for identity theft and forgery with exhibits. Filed a state notary complaint with her written admission. Filed an FTC identity theft affidavit. Sent a fraud packet to the lender demanding removal of my name and treating the acknowledgement as defective. Extended my 7-year fraud alert, refroze all bureaus, locked my USPS address, and opened a P.O. box. Retained a lawyer. Sent my parents a written cease and desist, stay out of my finances. All contact is email only. I'm not giving them time to fix it quietly. I'm not offering a refinance window. I'm not protecting them so my sister doesn't have to move. If this loan collapses, it's because they built it on my stolen identity. That's on them. But she'll lose her house. If your roof depends on a forged co-borrower, you never had a house. You had a countdown. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I feel like I'm out of my mind. I thought this was all behind me. Guess not. I've had some amazing help over the last year trying to piece my life back together, but things are so crappy right now. I don't care if she ends up homeless. Screw them. I'm so done. I think the sister losing her home is the least of her worries. All 3 of them could wind up in jail and find a ton of money they'll spend a very long time paying off. The notary could face charges too, possibly if she knowingly committed fraud. I wasn't clear if the family faked an ID with OP's info but the sister's picture, or if she knew this wasn't legitimate. At the very least, she should lose her job and her certification to be a notary. No way does the lender she works for want to risk their institution having a reputation for signing off on fraudulent mortgages. Yikes on a bike. Why is it so damn easy to open credit cards in other people's names in the US? In my country, you have to have 20 different forms of ID, 10 years of employment history, a clean background check, and the personal handshake of a notary public still ringing in your hand before a bank even considers offering you one. The risk is on the lender, since they can't enforce the debt against the person whose identity was stolen. It's a risk they're willing to take because it doesn't hurt their overall portfolio enough if they have to write off some debt for identity theft. Basically, it makes business sense to allow easy access to credit, even though you'll have to write some off due to identity theft or people not paying it. The interest from the people who do pay outweighs the problematic accounts. This makes sense to me. I mean, it's definitely better from a business standpoint to have 1 million accounts where a small percentage will turn out to be bad debt than to have 50,000 perfect accounts. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex's mother that my daughter and I will not be attending her Christmas together? A little backstory. A 29 female, have a 7-year-old daughter. Her father, 30 male, Sheldon, fake name, and I have not been together since before she was born. I broke it off with him shortly after I found out I was pregnant. He's a guy who basically only cares about playing video games, whether the Wi-Fi is working, and if he can beat his meat stick to pictures of anime women. I realized early on that, no thank you. We broke up. That was a crap show and a half. I had my daughter, and after a while, I let his mom and stepdad into our lives for my daughter's sake. Flash forward a bit, and we all pretty much get along now. It's just been my daughter and me for basically her whole life. I've never been in a serious relationship during her lifetime or anything. Every holiday we've spent with Sheldon's mom and stepdad, and it's been pretty great. His mom is quite a bit overbearing. To this day, she still calls me every day, multiple times a day, to talk to me about my daughter and to talk about her day. Even though I've told her we don't need to talk every single day, she still calls and gets upset if I don't answer, always with the excuse, "I'm just checking on my beauties." Move on to the present day, and I've entered into a pretty serious relationship with a guy for the first time. So serious that he and I have been talking about moving in together soon. I've been hinting to Patricia, fake name for Sheldon's mom, that this year, the holidays are going to be different, that the dynamic is going to change. She told me she completely understood. Turns out she didn't. She's been asking me what we should do at Christmas time. I've told her that whenever she's going to do her Christmas, my daughter's more than welcome to come and spend that day with them. I'll pick her up and we'll do our own thing after that. I told her I'd like to start building new traditions and things with my new partner. She continues to insist that there are no enemies in that house and that my boyfriend can come for Christmas. I told her I appreciate that, but it's still super weird and awkward since Sheldon still lives there as well. My boyfriend does not like Sheldon at all, mainly because he's a POS father and doesn't even pay child support like he's supposed to. He really has nothing to do with my daughter unless it's for show in public. Patricia is very upset that we will not be there together for Christmas. Would I be the a-hole for sticking to this boundary? Not the a-hole. You're dealing with an enthusiastic grandma who has loved having her granddaughter in her life. But you also need to have space to build your own life. She's going to be disappointed and hurt either way. That's just how grandmas are. Be consistent with your choice to decline the invite, but be kind. And good luck. Not the a-hole. Patricia has to learn, and whatever feelings she has are hers to work through. She can be nice enough, but if my son wasn't being responsible for the child I care so much for, he'd be getting a reality check. Whatever she's doing isn't right. You have every right to create your own traditions, and it's honestly really considerate of you to let them have a role in your child's life without drama. Thank her for being inclusive and hold the boundary. I really wish she gave any consequences or anything to her son. He has skipped from job to job and has never held one for more than 6 months in the past 7 years. She always brags to me that she's so proud of him for all the things he's doing whenever he does have a job, and that he's doing so well with my daughter when she's over there. Meanwhile, I've had my same job for 5 years, building my career, paying all of my own bills, and I am the primary caregiver for my daughter. If I have anything negative to say about him, then I'm the bad guy. I honestly don't know what type of hold she has on me, but I've just put up with all of this for the past 7 years. The real kicker is Sheldon is so disrespectful to her, but at the same time, he can do no wrong. For example, he defaulted on his car loan, so she put it in her name, paid it off, and gave the car to him. He owes over $3,000 in back child support, yet he just bought himself a new PS5 after starting this latest job, and I'm supposed to be proud of him because he's trying?